I lured you into the mortgage business.
You had to take one of us.
You've known the mortgage business since the womb.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so I think that's why you caught on so much.
Yeah,
I got you right out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
Just lured you right on in. Started at the bottom. Do you love it?
Oh, I love it.
Don't you lie. So, how do you like your wine?
I haven't tasted it yet.
It is called Unturned Stone. How fitting for our podcast, meaning we unturn every stone in somebody's finances. This is a Moonwater Merlot.
Mm-hmm.
2023 California wine. Do you love it?
I love it. Very good. There's not many wines I don't love, so.
I love wine. I love wine. You are my daughter. If you
Learned
love wine.
it from the best.
Definitely the best.
For
so,
sure.
You're my oldest daughter. I have another one that owns a boutique in Covington. She hated the mortgage business.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, she tried to come to work for us, but was not having it at all.
No.
But has a very successful boutique on the square in Covington, so happy for her. But I lured you into the mortgage business.
You had to take one of us.
You've known the mortgage business since the womb.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so I think that's why you caught on so much.
Yeah,
I got you right out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
Just lured you right on in. Started at the bottom. Do you love it?
Oh, I love it.
Don't you lie.
Definitely hit or miss some days.
It can be challenging.
Yep.
It can be challenging.
It
but
can be.
So you've been in the mortgage business now for how long?
Since I graduated high school in 2017.
2017. And you are originating full time now.
I am.
And working with clients. How many loans have you closed with us so far?
So I got my license in March of 25.
Yeah.
I did about 8 last year, but just kind of was going into it slow.
Sure. Well, you have to.
Yeah.
Right. You have to. There's so much to learn.
Yeah.
Right?
So much.
Yeah.
Every day. Definitely learning something new.
And we wanted to make sure that you were completely grounded before launching right into the originating piece.
Yes, which I think definitely has helped with a lot of the processes and learning experiences. Yeah. But this year I have closed 13, I think, or almost. Maybe the next couple
Cheers.
will be 13. Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
But it's definitely been a learning experience, but I've enjoyed it.
What is the one thing you love so much? Is it?
I love helping people that didn't think that they would be able to achieve homeownership. They came to us and was very scared about the process, especially young homeowners, because I can relate to them.
You can totally.
Not that
relate.
I've bought my own house yet, but one day.
You're still living at home. No,
Hey,
I
don't
love
say
it.
that.
I really think that with first-time home buyers, you really get it. You really can relate to them. And I think that's why you've hit the ground running and you've been so successful with talking to them and getting them to the finish line, because you can totally relate to them. Mm-hmm. Talk to us a little bit about why you think it's so important for, if someone is selling their home, to get pre-approved prior to maybe even listing, because of the process with the mortgage, how we need to approve them first so they know their buying power.
Yeah, I definitely think it's really important to know, where you stand. It might have been different when you purchased your first home. The market could have changed, interest rates, your financial position. And then also just before you list your house, knowing that you have somewhere else to go.
Right, because, gosh, I mean, we have so many things that we have to approve and look at, as far as maybe their income changed, maybe, the
credit history.
Yeah, their credit history, all those things, because you look at all of that up front, right?
Mm-hmm. We do. We look at definitely credit history, employment for the past 2 years. Just making sure your income hasn't changed for some reason, or if for some reason something is new on your credit. So I definitely think it's the best. And then also, when you do find the new home that you want and you're already pre-approved, you can act fast on, putting a contract in.
Yeah, because that's purchasing power.
Mm-hmm.
The
sure.
approval letters that we give are solid.
Yeah, for sure. And the sellers will definitely be more open to accepting your offer if you already are approved.
Right. Adults your age, they've graduated from college, they've gotten into their career, and, perhaps they haven't been on their corporate job for 2 years, but we can use their college degree as part of their employment history.
Yeah, for sure.
People don't really realize that. So, let's talk about that. How does that look?
Yeah, it's great. You can, if you don't want to go and rent right after college, you can definitely go and look at purchasing. So you can use your schooling as the 2 years of employment as long as you're within the degree that you graduated in.
And you graduated, that's the key word.
Yeah, graduated,
right.
For sure. Yeah, because even sometimes people will call, maybe right out of high school.
Right.
And unfortunately, at that point, you can't.
Yeah.
But the college degree, you can definitely go ahead and establish where you want to live, where you want to start your new job at, around that area. But so I think that's a positive, being able to purchase once you graduate and within that degree.
Even if they have student loans, we can still take a look at that and, try to qualify them. Even if their student loans are in deferment, we can still look at that because we calculate the student loan debt differently for different programs. And I think oftentimes college graduates, they think they do need to be on their job for 2 years. They think they need to have their own down payment. But the parents, grandparents, family member can gift them their down payment to help them get established right out of college. And they don't have to be on their job for 2 years. So that's a misconception, I think, throughout. And I'm sure you see that with your friends calling and wanting to get into a home.
One of my best friends, she wasn't on her job she had just graduated from college, and she was able, her and her fiance were able to purchase right after she graduated, which she was really happy about because she didn't think that she'd be able to until she was at least on her job for, she thought even a year, but we had did it within a few months of her being on her job, and then establishing.
But her job, though, she was in the profession.
The profession of her degree.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so was he. Well, he didn't go to college.
Well, he had already been on his job for 2 years. It was her, and she also just wanted to to be on the loan.
And you put her on a first-time home buying program, which had reduced mortgage insurance.
That's right.
They put 3% down, did a conventional loan, reduced mortgage insurance, and actually had a reduced interest rate as well.
Yeah, for sure. They were definitely happy about that.
And they got in less than what rent would have been, which is really, people don't realize that.
Yeah, they don't.
And we just kind of go that extra mile to figure out, we do have 100% programs. We have a ton of down payment assistance programs we even have down payment assistance programs for teachers, for police officers, firefighters. The first time home buyer, they get a little bit more of a down payment assistance from the state. But a lot of first time home buying help that we can provide that oftentimes they don't really know that that's available. And it's at a reduced interest rate as well if they don't make
over the income limits.
Correct. Yeah. And the credit score for that is 640.
640.
Yeah. So you're looking at all those things when your friends call in or a client calls in to get pre-qualified.
Yeah, I think with everybody, we don't look at just one program. We kind of look at where we take their application and kind of look at the big picture and then see what program would be best for them. And then just kind of go over the different options. So it's not just one thing that we look at. It's multiple, so we can put them into the best situation when they're purchasing. Yeah,
because the credit scores, we go down to 500 with 10% down, 580 with 3.5% down. And the 3.5% down at the 580 can be a gift from a family member. A lot of times people don't know that either. So there's so many options that you guys look at when we're getting them pre-qualified. So how early would you say that someone needs to come to us to get prepared to purchase a home? Ideally, if
I would say initially when you're interested and thinking about purchasing a home, just so you can have an idea of a budget how much you need to save, if there's for some reason you need to work on your credit.
So right off the bat, if they're even thinking about purchasing a home, call us immediately.
Yes, I definitely agree.
Even if they're not looking to move for 6 months.
Yeah, because even maybe for some reason, maybe somebody isn't ready, and there's things that we can do to help them purchase in the future.
Help them, like, credit-wise?
Yeah, credit-wise. Maybe
because the higher the credit score, the
better, better rates, better for sure. And then also maybe if for some reason they can't qualify for a down payment assistance program, they can work on saving money, and just also, like I said, like budgeting, so they can know the payments, the price range, because of course you want to know what you can qualify for before you start looking, because you don't want to look at anything that you could possibly get your hopes up on.
Absolutely. If we're looking at a loan and the customer doesn't qualify, we can always add a cosigner.
Yeah, for sure. Cosigner.
A non-occupant co-buyer, which could be a parent, a grandparent, to help strengthen the file if someone is, fresh out of college and they're a little leery, or, maybe we can't count all of their income for one reason or another. We can always have a parent co-sign. Oftentimes people don't realize that. I think that's a misconception as well.
Yeah, for sure. And then also, if they for some reason can't qualify up front and then they do get a cosigner, they can always refinance them off in the future if they needed to. So they can just initially have the cosigner.
And that only takes 12 months, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which is a great point. If people need help now, I feel like we have options to help them, right? And the biggest thing I feel like that we need to let, especially potential home buyers your age, don't be afraid to call us.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And I mean, just
because you really don't know until you try.
Absolutely.
So might as well. I know it can be nerve-wracking at first, because I can only imagine if I wasn't in the business, I would be like,
because it drives you crazy sometimes, right?
Yes. I would be like, I would be this, I guess, the same way, not really knowing how the process goes, or just kind of be intimidated. But yeah, so it can't hurt to try it and give us a call, especially when you're just thinking about it. You don't have to purchase right then. You can just have an idea, ask questions.
Yeah.
Just kind of get a feel for it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's a great point. So
always a computer, always on the phone. Definitely on car rides. We never were able to listen to music or really watch movies because we couldn't hear it because you were on the phone.
I was.
But hey, I guess that's what got us on the vacations.
Hey, that's exactly what got us on the vacations. Yeah, I remember one year in Panama City, we were sitting at Edgewater, and we were just sitting there or whatever, and I had my briefcase and everything beside me in case something went wrong or had to look at something. I mean,
briefcase and a beach bag and a cooler.
That's exactly what we had. A cooler of wine, a beach bag, and my briefcase was a necessity everywhere we go, which ironically is the same thing now. However, a few weeks ago, we went to Rosemary Beach on a girls' trip. We go on a Mother's Day trip every year, and guess who had their briefcase? And who had
my cooler and my beach bag
and their beach bag? How ironic, right?
Right? Hey,
like mom,
following in your footsteps for sure.
And I looked around one day and I went, "Wow,
yeah,
I've made it! Like, this is cool. She is being me right now."
I was also just on a weekend trip, and I was like, "Y'all, I'm sorry, I got to go up and get on my computer." And they're like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Yeah, but at least I can be here."
We have to take care of business.
Yeah.
I think that again is one of the things that sets us aside from other lenders. Who does that? That means we truly care about the customer, our agents, our builders. We want to make sure that they always feel comfortable. And if they're getting anxious, no matter where we are, makes us accessible and that we're different. If you call a big box lender, they're not going to take their briefcase to Rosemary Beach and ride their bikes to breakfast and come back and hop on their computer, right?
Definitely not.
So
You'll get an out of the office email and no response until they get back.
That's exactly right. And we just don't do that. We don't do that. It's not that we can't, it's that we choose not to. And I love that. Like, I know that when you were little and, always being on the phone.
I know, I said, I'm never getting into this business.
I'm never getting into the business. I know all of that, but at the end of the day, it's just who we are, and it's what we love. And I appreciate our customers so very much.
I do too.
And I'm so thankful for having the opportunity to help our customers with the biggest purchase of their life.
Oh, I agree.
And that's so
it's
satisfaction.
Very, rewarding.
Even though sometimes it's just so emotional and can sometimes be draining. At the end of the day, I mean, you sent an email yesterday. Best email ever.
Yeah.
Clear to close on a loan that you have worked on just endlessly.
Yes, they're very happy. They were doing a down payment assistance program.
And how much down payment assistance did you get them?
Well, that was the grant. Unfortunately, that's not available anymore.
Right.
But they were actually getting $250 back at closing.
Wow. And they got a $20,000 grant? $15,000 grant.
Yeah, they were.
Hopefully they'll reallocate those funds. They're only available for a certain part of the year every year, but hopefully there'll be a reallocation for that.
Yeah, when I called the agent and called them, they were at first a little because we had to go back and forth just because of the grant program.
Yeah.
So they were like, oh gosh, what is she going to say? And I was like, y'all are clear to close. And they're like, oh my gosh.
Right. So satisfying.
So, at that point, during the process, it's kind of like just a lot of back and forth. Not because of them, it just going. But when I did call and they were just so happy. It was,
so now you understand all the years why I did what I did.
Yeah, for sure.
Or do what I do, rather.
For sure.
It's now you're feeling that same thing. And
yeah, because also I feel like a lot of lenders wouldn't put in as much effort as some need.
Yeah.
And so they might not have been able to purchase if, they didn't go with us.
Yeah.
So it's nice that we're always there to help.
That's right.
Make it happen.
Absolutely. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.